In using Microsoft Word to produce our pamphlet, we've essentially gone through 3 stages of production. We've done our pre-production phase where we did our research for our different topics and cited our references. We went through the production phase where we actually produced or wrote our final paragraphs, our summaries for each of our topics, our attractions, on the environment, and so on and so forth. And I actually put all of that text, that is my final peer edited corrected text. I have all of that for each of the columns in one Word document, which I'm later just going to copy paste into my column layouts. Here, I even pasted my table and my graph that I produced in Excel. And with respect to the graphical elements, there were 3 different types of graphics that we produced. There was a full cover for our pamphlet. There was the map with a legend of all the different attractions and so on and so forth that we've included in our pamphlet. And the third one was a variety of small collages, and these little visual enhancements accompany our text. So now we're at the phase where we have to put all of that together. And setting up, the setup is particularly important, because if you don't start with a proper setup in Word, and then later on you try to change that and modify it, all of your layout may shift. So we're going to go to File and get a new blank document, and we're going to set up the properties for that right now. So you go to File, Page Setup, immediately switch it to Landscape. If you're on Windows, you will see your margins in the page setup window. For Mac users, we actually have to go to the Settings pull-down menu and go to Microsoft Word and click on Margins. And for the margins, if your units of measurement are in centimeters, then set your margins to 1 centimeter. If you're in inches, set it to 0.5 inches. So I'm going to do top 1 centimeter, bottom 1 centimeter, left 1 centimeter, and right 1 centimeter. And I'm going to click OK, and it's going to give me this message, you're out of the printable area. I'm going to say ignore that message. And there we go. We now have our cursor sitting there in the upper left corner waiting for us to insert information. However, we still have to set up our columns. So I'm going to go to my columns icon and choose 3, or you can always go to the Format menu and choose Columns and insert 3 columns, or type number of columns here, type 3, click OK. I now have 3 columns. Now each column acts as its own page within a page. It's almost like I have 3 pages within one document. It's kind of like a container, and all of the information that I insert in each column should stay within that column. It shouldn't spill over into the next one unless we put too much information in one column over the other. But right now, look, if I click in column 2, my cursor will not go to column 2. What you want to do to ensure that these are self-contained columns is you're going to go to Insert, Break, Column Break. And notice my cursor jumps to column 2. And we're going to do that again. And another column break, which creates a second page. Insert column break 2 more times. Insert column break. Now by inserting column breaks, my cursor, I can now drop my cursor into any of the columns and work on each column separately. So let's start now with our cover. I'm going to go to Insert, Picture from File, and let's see if I go to my folder, column 1, there's my cover, and I say Insert, and boom, it drops right in there. Now right now, by default, Word kind of has my column, my picture in a floating mode. Basically, your column can float. We don't want that. We want the column to be, the text wrapping to be in line with text so that it locks in to wherever the cursor was in that column. Now let's go to column 2. And if I look from my sample here, column 2 was on my city, a summary on my city, which is Montreal. And I am going to insert some word art You can always do it in Photoshop if you want. I'm just going to use a fast option here. Here, let's choose this. And I double click in here and I just type Montreal. Should have my accent on the E. But we don't have time for that right now. Okay, now this is floating as well. Let me right click on it. Again, format. Go to layout and say inline with text. Click. Oh, look at that, it jumped to column 2. Let me drop it over here. There we go. Now, if I want to get my cursor right here beside this, click on the image. If you're having a hard time finding your cursor, click on the image. Sorry, let me shrink Montreal a bit. It was a little too big. Okay, click on the image and use your right arrow key. And you see my cursor is blinking beside the image now, so I hit the right arrow key to get my cursor. Now I'm going to hit the return key to move it down one space below Montreal. And next I'm going to go get my text. Sorry, my text was from written content, and here we go. I'm going to grab the 4 paragraphs that I prepared and had vetted and peer edited, and I come over here and I edit paste, and there we go. And I also had created an image for this. So let me go to Insert, Picture from File. So I can insert that there. Next, let me come over here to my third column where we're doing our attractions. I'm going to hit my return key. Maybe once or twice. There we go. Move it down two spaces, 2 line breaks. And I'm going to go get my text again from written content for attractions. For your project, you may want to do 2 or 3 attractions. Just to speed up the process here, I'm going to do 2 attractions for this column. I'm going to copy that text, come over here, paste, and again, if I want to insert an image for expectations, let me hit the return key and put my cursor just above expectations, and I'm going to go Insert, Picture from File, and if I go to Attractions, there's Expectations. There we go. There's the little collage I made where I took the logo and put it with a picture of 2 of their dishes, which look very appetizing. I may have my size a bit wrong. If you want to stretch your graphic image symmetrically, hold your Shift key while stretching, and so the width and height will stretch together and the proportions, the ratios will remain intact. I also want a title up here. Let me hit the return key again to move expectations down. I'm just going to copy this Montreal title. Copy, paste, and paste. There we go. So Montreal's there. Montreal's also here. Double click on that. Change this title to Attractions. And maybe stretch it a bit. And maybe delete a couple of these line breaks to bring the expectations image up. Come over here and move it down a bit. Oh, notice I lost a bullet on the phone number. Let's go up here to our formatting bar and hit the bullet key right there to push that over. Okay. Again, I'm going to jump back over here, and we could now add in the Centaur Theatre, which is a great place for entertainment in Montreal. And I paste in their information. Okay, next I'm going to add a logo here to accompany this text on the Centaur Theatre. Go to Insert, Picture from File, under my Attractions column. Here we go. That's a great venue to go to if you're looking for a little entertainment. I have a little bit of empty white space down here. I could insert another attraction, or if you like, you can just blow up your font a bit. Let's say to size 12. Move this down 1 space. And same thing over here. Size 12. Maybe give yourself a couple more spaces. There we go. And I'm going to paste that. But of course, it's not attractions, it's environment. And we want to talk a bit about some things that Montreal is doing right with respect to the environment. Again, let me click on the image, hit my right arrow key to get my cursor beside that image, and now hit the line return, carriage return key to move down one line. And now I'm going to go get my text on the environment. Oops, there we go. Copy and paste. I may want to insert another image here. I'm talking about their Bixi bike system tool that Montreal has added, transportation tool where people can just grab bikes from any Bixi station and drive to another station on one of many bike paths around the city. And so I have some images for that. Here we go. Here's an image of the Bixi bike system. Okay, and then our last section we are going to do on the demographics. So I copy paste that title image again, and then of course we hit our right cursor key. I had done one little paragraph here I'd written on demographics, just explaining the table and the graphic that I produced in Excel, which is basically the distribution of household incomes across the Montreal area. And you may be doing it on some other topic, so you should explain what it is your graph and table represent. And there you go. We've now produced our 6 columns for our pamphlet using Microsoft Word.